Welcome back, everybody. Forever Taken 89 here, as always, and today we have something a little special. Up on the screen, you'll see it says the Galaxy cutting tiles, but today we have 3. I believe within the last 6 months they've done 4. I think I'm missing the mosaic, not alternative, but variant. So, as always, timestamp's going to be in the description below. That way you can skip to my overall review. But this is going to be an overall review of the entire series because this is one of my favorite series from Trillium. So look for that, and I'll see you at the end of the video if you're skipping forward. And if not, welcome for the ride. We're going to get hopping right into it. So we have Citra first, El Dorado, and then Galaxy. And then I'm going to be mixing and matching to kind of see what the differences are and maybe even try to pick out a favorite if I can. So here goes. That wildflower honey is just, oh, it's so good. So the nose on this is very, let's see. It starts out really heavy with the honey, and then hits you kind of like really light over the top, maybe with a little bit of pineapple. The El Dorado definitely has much more of a hot presence. And instead of like a light, the Citra is a very light over the top, whereas the El Dorado is more of like a medium body in terms of the nose. Like it hits you in a medium area, I would guess. That's gonna be my description for now. Okay, so El Dorado and Galaxy are more similar than they are to Citra. They're more similar to each other than they are to Citra. Man, that's good. So coming back to the El Dorado after the Galaxy is a bit more, I want to say, grassy in the nose, whereas the El Dorado is actually a lot more sweet. So just went to the Galaxy. Yeah, coming back to the Citra has the lightest nose of them with the honey. The El Dorado seems to be the sweetest. Yeah, it's got a nice soft medium sweetness. And then I would say the Galaxy is definitely the heavier of the nose. So this is going to be in light, medium, heavy in terms of body of the nose. And in fact, well, the lighting isn't perfect over my desk, but the El Dorado or the Galaxy does seem to be the most opaque and the most hazy of the 3. So let's go into the Citra. Yep, lighter in the body than I'm used to with the Trilliums. Still got that fluffy nature, but it's not like a thick. Maybe medium to light body. See what kind of bitter. There is a slight bitterness in the finish. Light, pleasant, maybe like a grapefruit rind or like an orange rind. And then let's come to El Dorado. I should honestly probably have a palate cleanser in between so everything doesn't bleed into each other. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some water real quick. Sorry for the noise. All right. Definitely more medium in body. Follows the nose. Definitely got a sweetness to it. And the finish, I would say, is more like straight hop. A nice based out layer of honey and then you got the hop right over the top of that. Yep. And the Galaxy has that really earthy, has a very earthy and heavy hop presence to it. I'm wondering if because of how old this is, when was it canned? Canned on I mean, it was October of last year, so I mean, like, it is an older IPA. You normally don't want to keep your IPAs for that long. But I don't think there was any sediment. I didn't notice any floating in it. It seems pretty clear. Because normally when you have an older IPA and you pour it, you don't want to pour the whole thing, because then at the bottom, if it's been sitting for a while, anything more than 3 months, or even kind of at 3 months, you can start to get like some floaters. And I haven't actually researched to know if it's yeast or what it might be, but I just know that they get there, and if you pour them into the drink, it does really heavily affect the drink. And I remember really liking the Galaxy cutting tiles. I don't remember it being this bitter. But let's see. The El Dorado was canned only a month after. But yeah, the Galaxy might be a little too old. The hop profile of it is very, very strong. Very, very strong and earthy. Mm. Yeah. Yep. Pineapple, mango, front to back, and then citrus characters. That's what all these, cutting tiles have. But this one says restrained bitterness on the finish, and I think it's mostly due to the age that it's being so bitter. So remember to try to drink your IPAs within 3 months, and if not 5, 6, you're kind of like really treading on thin ice right there. So even jumping between these, the more I'm drinking, not sure just if it's because they're warming up and then we only keep the fridge. Because we store stouts and IPAs in the fridge, we keep it at like 50 something, whereas you normally want to store it like 40 something for your beers. So I'm not sure if it's because it's warming up or just because I'm saturated from the Galaxy. So I'm going to rinse my palate real quick. Let's see. Yep, sweeter, a lot more earthy though. Well, than the citra, but not quite as much as the Galaxy. Let's see what this one brings. Yeah, I think it's just the more I drink it, the bitter is starting to stack up, and the citra is. So we got Galaxy in October, El Dorado in November, and Citra in December. So Citra is the newest one. Oh, there we go. But I'm trying to decide between the Citra and the El Dorado. At this point, the Galaxy has so much of a hoppiness that it's not really what I am gonna like jump all over. I remember it being very good when I had it, and I figured, having a couple of them, but I think I just kept them too long and waited too long to do this review. Hmm. Yep. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and say the El Dorado so far is my favorite. Um, the Citra is light and sharp comparatively. A little more piney. So if you want a beer that offers a little sweetness but it is piney, you're gonna want to go for the Citra variation whenever you see it pop up. From Trillium, and then if you want the sweeter, you're gonna want to go for the El Dorado. El Dorado is gonna give you a bit more of that mild sweetness, a medium body, whereas the Citra is gonna be more light and more on the piney side. And then the Galaxy is really gonna earthly like base you out. As it says here, funny, I have the Galaxy one. It says a floral, earthy backbone, definitely earthy. And it could be just due to the age, but given the El Dorado right next to it is not as potent, and is much more balanced, it could be either the age, that 6 months, or well, let's see, October 1, October 11th. So let's see, November, December, January, February, March. We're almost into month 6. So it could just be that, like, at around 6 months, it's a completely different beer by then. Whereas the El Dorado is that's the one I'm probably going to drink the rest of before the others. And then the Citra, it's good. It's good, but I think it's more meant for like a outside drinking, outside in the hot sun, or relaxing by the pool or something like that. If you want to have a double IPA while you're doing that, I'd probably say the Citra is going to be more of your outside vibe, whereas your El Dorado is going to be more of like a cozy, a cozy, slightly sweeter on an average day. And your Galaxy is going to be, if you want to drink during the winter, that earthy kind of like that earthy backbone that's really gonna help you to enjoy it on that kind of a setting. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the review. I'm going to rate the El Dorado, and then the others will be kind of after that. So yeah, that mild medium nose on it is nice. It's not one of the best noses I've had on a beer. Even though I remember this being one of my favorite series from them. We'll have to see. I just did the whole week of Logic though, so my taste buds might be oversaturated by stouts. I'd say this the nose is probably like a solid 3.75. It's pleasant. It gets in there, it saturates, doesn't oversaturate, so it's very well balanced in that regard, but it's just not enough of a wow factor. Because the honey is so subtle, nothing really hits you in the face, but it is really well balanced. So it's like a 3.75 to a 4. I'm having trouble. Yeah, 3.75. The nose isn't quite saturating enough. There's just something quite missing that's not gonna push it up into that range. So we'll say a 3.75 on the nose. Hmm. Oh man, the honey really coats your tongue on the mouthfeel, so you get like a thick, fuzzy mouthfeel, and then what? I don't what? Okay, sorry, got momentarily distracted. Squirrel. So I'm doing that a lot. Oh yeah, you got the typical Trillium, fluffy mouthfeel, very like a medium heavy, in that kind of a range for the body. And the honey, it coats your tongue in such a pleasant way. It's a light honey coating, and because of that, it doesn't sit too heavy. It is fantastic. Probably one of the better mouthfeels because of that honey, to be honest, because it's got that usual Trillium quality, and then it's even heightened. So I'd probably say a 4.5 on the mouthfeel. It does have quite a... It's a noticeable bitter on the back end immediately. That does fade pretty quick, so that gives it some points. But there is like the hoppiness remains after the bitter, and it's good. But I can see it being a little overwhelming for somebody like me, which is going to bring it to a 3.75. So the nose and the taste are about the same. The mouthfeel is next level. So if you're not like me and you love that, a heavy hop taste, you love it to build, you want to taste it, you want to really soak it in, and you like a lighter nose, then this will probably score a bit higher for you. Probably like a 4.25 overall even. And that mouthfeel maybe even be higher for you. Who knows? So, well, now that I have it, the finish, like I said, initial bitter fades into a hoppiness, which actually starting to fade pretty quickly, more into a nice presence on the back sides of your tongue. Getting the exhale. Yeah, it's gonna be on the back sides, either side of your tongue, all the way in the back by your molars. And it's pleasant. It sits there pretty heavy. And while I don't like the initial bitter, it does fade so quickly that's going to bump it up for me. It's probably still going to be a 3.75 though. Just because I'm not typically a fan of your more bitter, your West Coast IPA style, like bitter, and like super hoppy beers. So I'd say overall this probably comes to like a 3 point. Well, I mean, let's just do it out. Let me grab the calculator. So we have 3.75 times 3 at a 4.25, 4.5, I believe. I have a bad memory. I'm sorry, plus is a 15.75 divided by 4, and we get a 3.9, so almost a 4 on the El Dorado cutting tiles. So coming back to the Citra, the lighter nose is still pleasant, still good. So I don't think that really docks at any points. So I'm going to say it's probably still at a 3.75. See, now after having so much of that El Dorado, the lightness of the Citra is really good on the flavor, but it does lack in the mouthfeel. So in this case, the mouthfeel comes to a 3.75 because it's much more thin. Comparatively, anyway. The flavor is mild, but much more honey present, and a little bit of like an orange. So that's gonna go ahead and make it probably a 4, and then the finish is gonna be still a 3.75. So it's gonna rank a little bit lower than the El Dorado, but still pretty close. And now the one I have the most left of is the Galaxy. Wow, yeah. definitely, I think the hop profile is much more complex with the Galaxy, but it's definitely going to be the variant that is more for your dank hop beer loving guy or girl, man or woman. That's going to be for, you want it dank, you're going to go for the Galaxy. That's just going to be way better for you. You're really going to like this. It has a very heavy back center tongue presence on the finish. Yeah, just sits really heavy like a rain cloud. Really lets you soak in that hop. The mouthfeel, the bitter kind of gives like a grassy bite to the side of your tongue. And it's not as thick as the El Dorado. So it's going to be the IBUs really saturate for me personally. If you like West Coast IPAs and you're like, I don't usually like a sweeter IPA or something that's got something honey or, candied this or that, the Cutting Tiles Galaxy actually might be the one for you to try. Let it age a couple months, and then go into it, because the honey is so subtle in this because it's so earthy. It does have a heavy IBU, heavy hop flavor. This will be much more up your alley. So I would say my least favorite's the Galaxy. The Citra it's all right. I'm not going to say no to one. But the El Dorado for me is where it's at. El Dorado is the one I'm going to keep coming back to. So overall for the series, taking the high, mid, and low, probably puts the series, if the El Dorado it was at a 4, almost at a 4, 3.9, the Citra is probably going to be at like a 3.75, and the Galaxy, for me personally, while it's not up my alley, it is very well done. So it's probably at like a 3.5. For me personally, I probably won't get the Galaxy variant again, unless I really become a fan of West Coast IPAs for who knows what reason. I think because it's so old, the pineapple is coming out way more in the Galaxy, but it's a little overpowering. Or it's just the IBUs. So that one I'm probably going to rate it like a 3.25 personally. It is a very well crafted beer, just not for me, not for my taste buds and the flavor profiles I normally like. So overall, you're probably looking at like a 3.5, 3.6 or something like that. I'd say for the series. For the series overall, it's hard to say because you could judge it as a perspective like me, where I like a certain kind and only, let's say the El Dorado is king and the Citra is okay. But that's 2 beers out of the series with different hops that I enjoy. And sitting here, I can say that, women sometimes tend to like a Chardonnay. They don't mind the more grassy, the more citrus, more lemon, more that kind of stuff. Maybe they might like the Citra better. And then people like me that have a sweet tooth, or when it comes to beer at least, might enjoy the El Dorado. And then your super hop fan likes the Galaxy. Like if let's say these were mass produced, I mean, like you'd have a variant for 3 different kinds of people. So trying to judge the series based on that, do I base it on what I like, and does the series overall do that, or does the series cater to a variety of different people while maintaining true to its formula? So I'd say in terms of what I like, it would follow very closely to how I rated them. So the El Dorado is going to be a 4, the Citra is going to be 3.75, and the Galaxy might be a 3, or a 3.25. So I'd guess overall, and as far as if you base it off your one taste buds, and will you like all the variants, it's going to depend on how wide your flavor profile is. But for me, that's probably going to come down to maybe 3.5 as a series. If you're excited for a series that offers you different tastes and you enjoy the different tastes, then if you enjoy the base of the Wildflower Honey and you like West Coast IPAs and you like your New England hazies and you like your more citrus based, then this series is probably going to be like a 4 for you. If you're like, oh man, every time they come out with one, I'm going to really enjoy it, but it's going to offer something brand new, then it might be like a 4 or 4.25. 4 or a 4.25 for you. Whereas for me, if you're like, oh, I only like one kind of IPA, I'm not really an IPA drinker for the most part, it just, if they're like this, I like them, then 3.5, 3.25 for you. So that's going to wrap up this review of the Cutting Tiles series. And you can best believe I'm going to finish that El Dorado right away. And then if you want to catch me live, go to twitch.tv/forevertaken89. And if you want to read other beer reviews, my Week of Logic reviews, or when I go to the Bottle Logic tap room for the low fill pours, so you can know whether you want to buy and or trade those beers in advance. Excuse me. That's at Instagram, and that's forevertaken89 as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you do, thumbs down if you must, and maybe leave me a comment or come catch me live and let me know what you thought. I'll catch you guys later in the next one.